So today we have a pretty cool guest. We're going to talk with Sylvan. Sylvan's a pretty impressive multi-sport athlete and guide. He's a professional highliner, rigger, climber, canyoneer, pack rafter, photographer, and base jumper. He's obviously a pretty boring person, and so you're going to have to feel him out for yourself. You've probably seen him on the Space Net, 400 feet above the desert floor in Moab. You know, his girlfriend is a very multi-talented, multi-sport athlete as well. You can see her on some silks, climbing all over the place in the Moab area. And I recommend you check her out as well. It's at Mercendi Climerson. And a pack raft's a perfect tool for creativity and a perfect tool for a guy like Sylvan. So let's see what he has to say about Moab. And thanks for joining, everybody.
Andrew, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Not much. Thanks for tuning in and joining us from Moab. So I have two quick questions to break the ice really quick. If you could have one superpower, what would that be? Consider you're already a mix of Superman and Spider-Man. What would you want to do?
Oh, shoot. If I could have one superpower, it would probably be to survive in any condition without extra materials needed.
So light and fast, master.
Light and fast, maybe, yeah. You don't have to have coats. You don't need to, yeah.
Right on. Cool, man. So just want to start out, where are you from? Give us a quick background on yourself and how you got into pack rafting.
Cool, yeah. So I'm from Moab, Utah, born and raised. I've also lived in Vegas for a little bit, but spent most of my time out here in the desert Southwest. I'm currently a guide for Moab Canyon Tours, as you can see here. I guide canyoneering, rock climbing, pack rafting, hiking adventures all over the southeast desert of Utah. Yeah, it's a pretty great place out here, kind of like a great big playground.
Right on. Tell us about your tour company, like what they offer as rental or guide services. What kind of pack rafts, Kokopelli pack rafts you guys use right now for the fleet?
So we've got a fleet of Rogue Lights. As a guide, I carry a Rogue Light with a T-zip. That way I can stash more gear in my boat. And then we've got 5 other Rogue Lights, just the regular ones. They're great, honestly, super durable. Moab Canyon Tours as a company, we mostly do canyoneering stuff. Like I said before, also rock climbing and some pack rafting stuff as well. As far as the pack rafting goes, it's mostly kind of a mix, pack rafting, canyoneering together. So you're descending canyons using ropes, rappelling, stemming, and then you pop out onto a creek and then pack raft out. It's pretty awesome.
It's a pretty cool tour. It's definitely one of the more unique ones in the country. And so, guys, once again, why we're doing this is Moab's. Sylvan's company is a partner of ours. You know, we've been working hard over the last year, kind of going around, traveling for the last 8 months, going to places all around the country, trying to create pack rafting hubs where you can go rent pack rafts. You can go rent them, hire a guide, and just kind of create a network for the entire pack rafting community. If you're new to pack rafting, this will give you an opportunity to look on our website, look at all the partners we currently work with. And if you want to go and get a guided tour in Montana, Moab, Jamaica, Costa Rica, big ups to Tom at Pequire Outdoor Center and all the guys down there. And, you know, we have a big list of folks that we're going to be updating our website that will help you guys kind of reach out and go pack rafting all around the world. So, you know, I'm going to turn it over to Sylvan now to talk about pack rafting. He's going to give you his inside take on what you need to know about pack rafting in Moab. Let's say you're planning a trip yourself, or you want to go hire a guide. You know, let's say focus on the safety side of things, especially that. And let's figure out, you know, if you're just a regular pack rafter, never been to Moab, and you want to go on your first trip, Sylvan will guide you through this process. And go for it, Sylvan. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Yeah. First of all, Andrew, I just want to say thank you for having me on here and having all these guys pushing this, and pack rafting to the world's awesome. So as far as Utah goes, Southeast Utah to be specific, you've got a lot of options down here. Anything from flatwater lakes to you've got 2 major riverways with up to Class 5 rapids. You've got Lake Powell sitting down there with beautiful canyons to explore. So needless to say, there's a lot going on down here. And Moab Canyon Tours offers a few guided trips where we can kind of get you out into some more obscure canyons, some creeks that really run only at certain times of the year, starting from spring, kind of going into summer. And like I said before, that involves canyoneering, and pack rafting. So you're getting in there, you're rappelling, you're floating out. Sometimes you're floating in and then canyoneering out opposite ways. But if you're coming down here by yourself and you're looking to, get your brand new Kokopelli out or something like that, the Colorado River is a really great option. Right outside of Moab, you've got what we call the daily section. And at its most extreme, you've got some class 3 rapids, but there's a lot of flat water sections as well. So you can go out and if you're kind of beginner getting into it. So yeah, you've got a lot of options there. If you're coming out to do the canyoneering pack rafting, some safety tips. Obviously, it's a desert out here. You want to bring lots of water or a way to filter water since you're going to be on a river. So that's kind of number one. Number two, have a backup. You're out in these creeks. They're kind of rough, harsh. You're scraping a lot of the time. So patches, number one, are really nice, especially for the bottom of the boats. Also having the gear you need if you're going to be canyoneering, making sure you've looked up the specific length of rope, maps, kind of tracing your area. It's easy to get lost out in this terrain. So ahead of time, setting yourself up for success is really important.
Quick question, when you're talking about patches and stuff like that, and let's talk about material. So with the XPD coming out, we made our adventure series, a PVC version. The adventure series, it is, to me, one of my favorite boats. I spent a lot of time testing this boat. We have almost like 26 states. It's been in the Gulf of Mexico, Pacific Ocean, and the Atlantic Ocean. And we tested this in every single terrain. The thing is, when you go into sandstone, slot canyons, if you go right against the wall, you could have a potential problem on a TPU boat. Now with PVC, that doesn't exist. So if you were to kind of pick between one or the other, why would you pick a PVC boat in certain areas of the desert opposed to a TPU?
So the TPUs, the ones we rock, are honestly great. Super durable, I've found, even in the canyon situations. The PVC kind of just gives you that peace of mind, though. If you're going into something where you're going to be in and out, you're going to be scraping through narrow slot canyons and your gear might be rubbing, that PVC is really going to give you the peace of mind. So if it were a situation where I don't have to hike like massive amounts of terrain, also, I would definitely take the PVC pipe. The TBU, given its lighter status, if I'm doing something where there's a lot of hiking, I would probably take one of those instead.
Right on. Cool. So the PVC set for me is it's a real bushwhacking boat. And,
yeah, exactly.
You could drag it through things. If slot canyons get tight, you could throw it, drag it. And that was a lot of the design before. It was, when people ask you, hey, what's the best boat for everything? It doesn't exist. You need a quiver for everything. So if you're going to go bushwhack and you need a strong boat, make sure you bring the right boat for the task. So it's good to have two, a TPU and a PVC boat. So keep going, man. Keep telling us about what you guys do and some of the areas you keep pack rafting in lately.
Yeah, so I just went out the other day onto the Colorado, like I was talking about that daily section, just for some scouting, using the boat to get across the river, scouting some areas, going down, just having some fun. You've got the Colorado River is a great source. The Green River is also one of the major river sources that runs through here. And there are several runs through there. One of the main ones, Cataract Canyon's a beautiful float going through, canyons that are 400 or 500 feet deep. Kind of takes about a week to get through there. That's a really beautiful one. Lake Powell is a great resource as well for floating. It's just endless. And that kind of sits on the Utah-Arizona border. So you've got options. There's so many, the Escalante River flows in. You've got all these different tributaries with canyons to explore up. And then there's also, go ahead.
Do you guys do custom private tours too? Let's say someone checks out a map and says, hey man, I want to float this section of a canyon. I don't know if anyone's ever done it. Will you guys do those kind of private, kind of more creative tours as well?
Oh yeah. So Moab Canyon Tours is specifically an only private tour company. So we focus on sort of the experience versus just getting people through. So if you hit us up, chances are we've got permits for the area. If not, it's typically pretty easy to pull permits like that. So that's kind of the only limiting factor is whether or not we're already permitted for an area. So yeah, these more obscure creeks and canyons. I don't really want to give away names right now. If you're interested in doing them and you already know about them and you're just, kind of wondering, how do I do this? Who do I contact? Definitely hit us up at Moab Canyon Tours.
So the reason I ask that is like, so if this is the first time pack raft are going to the Green River and it's their first big trip, they nail that one and they want to focus on scaling up just a little bit and testing themselves. They could call you guys and say, hey, check out this piece of map, this location on the map. I want to float this river. I'm going to call Sylvan and Sylvan can make that happen.
Definitely.
Right
Yeah, hit
on.
us up. We're lenient. We're super moldable. We're able to fit the trip that you want to do. So just kind of contact us, let us know, talk to us. Yeah,
Gotcha.
we're
Hey, I have a
definitely
question
professionals in
from
this area.
Thailand for two. How do you choose where you go for each tour?
Well, it kind of just depends on the person. So we get on the phone with people and typically have a conversation with them, get their skill level, what they're able to do, that kind of thing, and then work with you as far as what works best. So we've got so many different canyons and trips that we can run. It's really endless. I don't want to sit and name them all, but we sit down and we talk to you and kind of, if you don't already have something in mind, are able to work something out with you, get you set up for the best tour.
Gotcha. Hey, quick question too. How about for bike rafting tours? Are you guys offering those currently, or could you make those happen if people, could you tie some cool routes together?
Yeah, so I've got a lot of friends that guide mountain biking in Moab. Moab Canyon Tours doesn't guide mountain biking at this time, but we do have friends in other businesses around the area that we could hook up and do something with for sure. Yeah, and
Cool.
there's
Yeah.
like
So bike
so many
rafting, I think for
trails.
us, we're seeing a huge growth in it. So I think you guys are going to see in the next, probably next year or so, people calling you, hey, want to do some bike rafting trips. So
Yeah,
keep that on the horizon down
come
there.
down the Red Rocks and then float down the Colorado after. Sounds great.
Yeah, man. Well, cool. So keep going, man. Keep telling us about what you guys are doing or some upcoming projects that you have personally, because you're doing 1,000 different things all the time.
Yeah, a lot going on. There's a few creeks that are about to come into season that offer really narrow passageways, swift water, stuff that's only runnable during this time of the year. Kind of just waiting for the CFS to bump up, but I've got that in the works. Obviously, with this whole coronavirus thing, everybody's itching to get out and has all sorts of projects. So we're kind of just waiting to see how everything goes.
Gotcha. Quick question too. So here's a technical question. For the style pack rafting that you're doing, would you use a tie zip or non-tie zip?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going into a canyon where you are going to be canyoneering out and you're using gear over here that you're not going to be using for the pack rafting, that's awesome. You can just stuff it inside, keep it dry, get it out of the way, and then have it for later in the trip or earlier in the trip, whenever you're using it.
Right on. Cool. Also, so we're going to start asking a lot of technical questions in these Instagram live, just because a lot of the places we've been testing these boats could be from marine climates, coastal climates. So it's also different. So while we get into these conversations, we're just going to be asking a lot of technical questions that are unique to the area in terms of fabric, tie zip, how you would use it if you'd want to use it, and preferences like that.
Yeah.
So I just want to, kind of the next question I have for you is, what attracted you to pack rafting and what's your next step with it? What do you think it grows into in the next 5 years?
So pack rafting for me was a great way to keep exploring these areas. You go canyoneering and oftentimes these canyons end at waterways. And then, eventually I was like, I want to be able to explore further down, cover more ground, do these really cool pack rafting canyoneering tours that I've been hearing about. And it's a great way to get out. Yeah. And with the Kokopellis, specifically the lightweight, they're the Rogue Lights, 5 pounds XPDs is what, 913. You can get out there and have this thing on your back and it's not that big of a deal. So that's awesome. You're not carrying a massive ducky or inflatable kayak out trying to run these tours. You're able to run light, get in, get out.
Have you traveled yet with it and carry on? Tell me about any kind of travel experiences you've had with your pack rafts.
Yeah, the thing packs down to like this. It fits in the bottom of a bag, super easy. You can throw it in the car. It takes up no space at all. You can fly with it, super easy. We recently went to Thailand and took the Rogue Light with over there, just kind of floating on the seawater out there. And it was, no hassle at all. It was like it wasn't even there.
Right on. Well, cool. I think, thanks so much for joining us today. We just want to pick your brain, talk about Moab, and first start this and figure out the systems. We're going to be doing more of getting better, obviously, as we go along. But, want to say thanks again to everyone for joining us. This will be on for about 24 hours. Tune in each and every week. We'll have a new guest, a new location, a new topic. So we're not talking about the same thing every single week. It changes. We'll have affiliates. We'll have we'll talk about the marine market that we're getting into, pack rafting in Florida and the Southeast in general, different places around the country. We'll have European guides next week. The week after that, Costa Rican guides in the jungles. And all these folks are partners with Kokopelli. And this is an opportunity for us to kind of shine a spotlight on them and tell the world what they do and how you can go, get pack rafting tours right now and get guided by them. So if you have any questions for Sylvan, where can they reach you at?
So again, thank you, Andrew, for having me on. Anybody, if you've got questions, if you're coming out solo and you're just looking for some information, hit me up at Sylvan Slacks on my Instagram. I typically respond to those messages pretty quick. And then if you're looking to come out and experience a guided trip and just kind of get to know Utah and pack rafting, Moab Canyon Tours has a fleet of 5 boats, and that's not including guides, so we can take up to 5 people out at a time. So you and your family, you and your friends, come out and hit us up. Let us know.
Right on, man. Thanks so much for coming on. And if you have any questions for Sylvan, hit him up. And he's an affiliate of ours, so he's a pretty good voice for our brand, and we're pretty proud that he's on with us this year. So thanks again, man, and we'll check you out next time.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon. See ya.
All right.